Relax. Okay, Rabotai Itai. What's the ETA on Mr. Dweck? If you have a gemara, nobody has gemara? Have Itai pass them out. Itai, would you mind giving out some gemara, gemariyot Megillah for where we have? We're going to start with some halachot for Pesach. We have 3 shiurim until Pesach, and so we'll do a little halakha each time. Oh, okay, hold on. Why is it not like a weird angle? Okay, hold on 1 second. I don't know, it's a weird angle or whatever. I don't know why it's going unless it's just my phone. Oh, it's just my phone. I think your phone is more down. Okay, ready? Let's just do some halachot, and then we'll go into the gemara. So we'll do partial halakha, partial gemara. The halakha, I'm just reading it to you out loud. So listen, we're still doing some of the agada over there. We're still doing some of the agada in the gemara, Adam.
Where do you want it?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Let's just listen to the halachot. We're gonna start. Yeah, it's on. Yemei Chodesh Nisan. Rosh Chodesh Nisan is Tuesday. Tuesday is Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Yemei Chodesh Nisan. We know the whole Nisan. There's no tahanun. There's no anna. You say Yeshem the entire month. Why? I'm reading from Acham David Yosef. Says Acham David Yosef. Yemei Chodesh Nisan. Him Yemei Simcha Yisrael. The whole month is happy days. B'tkufot he'aba nahobeh ve'atid. Whether in the past, present, or the future. Ki b'yom Rosh Chodesh Nisan b'shana hasheni taseh pnei Yisrael who come in Mishkan. In the second year of the Exodus of Egypt, on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, we put up the Mishkan. Uv'meshech 12 yom ikrivu 12 hanesiim shel Sheftei Yisrael korbanam hanukat hamizbeach. And for the next 12 days, so 1 Nisan until 12 Nisan, were the korbanot of the leaders of the tribes. Nasi Ahad Layom, Nasi Ahad Layom. V'chol Ahad me'anesiim he'aseh Yom Tov b'Yom HaKribot hanukat hamizbeach. Every day they made a Yom Tov, they made a holiday, they made a party for inaugurating the Mishkan. So there's 12 days of Yom Tov from the beginning of Nisan. So that's the first 12 days. Well, the Ahad Miken,
From the second day.
from the first day it was picked up. It sounds like on that day was the first Nasi. Well, the Hamikin, B'yom Yud Gimel b'Nisan, Haya Yom Isru Hag Shelahem. So the 13th of Nisan was Isru Hag of the Nisi'im. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Yom Yudalad b'Nisan is Erev Pesach. Right? The 14th of Nisan is Erev Pesach. Isru Hag, the day after the holiday.
Oh, because of the first 12 days.
Yeah. So the first 12 days were the Nisi'im. The 13th is Isru Hag. The 14th is Erev Pesach. And then we have 7 days of Pesach. Yamim Tovim Miklei Kodesh. So that it goes until the 21st. The 22nd of Nisan, in Huslar, it's also the 22nd. The 22nd of Nisan is Isru Hag of the holiday of Pesach. So therefore, every single day from 1 to 22 is a holiday. Ubinyan Bet HaMikdash Shilishi Shibaneh B'Mena B'Yamenu. The third Bet HaMikdash, when it's built, Yeh B'Yom Tov Shel Pesach. It's going to be built on Pesach, says the Chacham David. Ki b'Nisan negalu, b'Nisan atidin leigael, because Nisan is the month of all the Geulah, even the future Geulah. As it says in the pasuk, you have miracles by the Mashiach, just like when you left Egypt. We're going to have another 7 days of Hanukkah of inaugurating the Bet HaMikdash Shilishi. Well, 22 Nisan is the end of Pesach. If Mashiach comes on 23 Nisan and it goes for 7 days, that's the whole month. And so therefore, in Me'aribin Simcha la Simcha, you can't mix 2 Simchot. So you can't have the Hanukkah Mizbeach, Hanukkah Bet HaMikdash on Pesach. So when Mashiach comes, we're going to have to wait till Pesach's over. And we're going to do 23 to 30. And therefore, the entire month of Nisan is a holiday in the past, the present, and the future. And therefore, the entire month of Nisan, no anna, no tahanun. Got it? So if someone asks you why no tahanun, that's the reason why. Le'or ha'amud, en omri vidui and nefilat apayim b'chol yemei chodesh Nisan, ומנהג הספרדים מעדות המזרח, שלא לומר יענך השם יום צרה. We don't say the Mizmor number 20 in Shaharit in the whole month. Why? Because it says יענך השם ביום צרה, and it's not a yom tzara. And as well, we don't say tefillah David. And as well, we don't say, why not tefillah David? Why not? What's wrong with it? B'yom sarati ekra eka. It's not yom sarah again. And however, the Ashkenazim do say Ya'ancha Hashem. And also, we don't say Sidkat Dechaim and Hav Shabbat. Sidkat Dechaim and Hav Shabbat is Siduk Adin. Right? Because the 3 Pesukim, right? We said this a bunch of times before, no? The 3 Pesukim is Sidkat Decha, one for each person that passed away on Shabbat. Moshe, David, Yosef. They all passed away on Shabbat. Sidkat Decha, 3 Pesukim, Siduk Adin. Okay. And we don't make a public fast on the whole month of Nisan. A private fast, if someone wants to fast by themselves, is allowed, he says. For example, if someone has a fast on the yahrzeit of their parent,
How do you explain the pachor?
that's true. That's not a fast out of sorrow. That's and anyway, go to the siyum.
But if a person can't, I mean, there are people that do fast because they, whatever they.
People fast bechorot.
I've heard of people that do it because
You gotta make a siyum.
not very often.
You gotta go to the siyum. We're gonna have the siyum here, Zat Hashem, on Erev Pesach. We'll have a siyum. I'm gonna be doing it. I didn't finish the gemara yet, but I got to. I'm not a bechor, but I'm doing it for you guys. Okay. And Minhag Tov, this we know, we should know. All this stuff should be no hidushim, it should be hazara. Minhag Tov, likro bechol yom ha'chel miyom Rosh Chodesh Nisan, parashat korbanot hanesiim, the korban of the nesiim. Each nasi had a korban, so it's a good minhag to read every day after shaharit. That nasi's korban, and on the 13th is the longest day. On the 13th, you read the whole thing from the beginning of parashat Be'alotecha until ken asa tamid olam.
People also go to cemeteries.
I think it's a Tishrei thing. No, I don't. It's definitely not a halacha for us. Okay, it says over here some Ashkenazim they actually read the Nesiim through from a real Torah. I've never seen that before. Well, I don't know if I prayed in yeshiva with Ashkenaz Minyan during Nisan. I don't remember. When you let us know what they do in your yeshiva. They read the Nesiim out of a real Torah. We don't do it. Okay, fine. That is the halachot of Nisan. And then next week we'll do B'ezrat Hashem Birkat Ilanot, because next week, Tuesday is Rosh Chodesh, which means the following Sunday we're going to do Birkat Ilanot. Usually we do Birkat Ilanot at Yossi Avrahami's house. It's getting late because it's a leap year. So a lot of these trees, like in my house, the trees are already growing fruit. So we're going to have to find a couple of trees. So next week we'll do Ilanot, and we'll start getting ready with B'dikat Hametz, B'ezrat Hashem, next week. Now we'll move over to the Gemara. It's a little halacha for Pesach.
What's your asking when you buy stuff before Pesach?
If you buy,
let's say you buy cream cheese or like orange juice, stuff like that before Pesach, are you going to use that?
It's a great question. Does it have a? You're asking me if it has a Passover symbol or it doesn't have a Passover symbol? Okay, so this is a very good question, and I don't want to go deep into this because it's a whole thing. I want to do this, but maybe 2 weeks from now. The short, I'm going to give a very short answer. Hopefully that's enough. There are lots of different Passover lists. Some lists are much more lenient. You look at some lists, they'll actually buy all these things, and they say it's okay. Everything's okay, basically. Like Heinz ketchup, for example. You go to other lists, like the list I used, they say Lieber's ketchup. Yeah? You have to buy the Jewish brand. So how could it be such a difference? And so they're all using this one rule. If there's a ta'arovet hametz before Pesach, so again, I don't really want to go too much into this right now, but very simply, if you have not kosher meat that would mix into this meat that Mrs. Dweck made, God forbid, but it's less than 1 in 60, it's batil b'shishim. Now, which means if it's outnumbered 1 in 60, it's batil b'shishim. Good? It's kosher, right? If you had hametz as part of an ingredient, let's say Heinz ketchup puts flour to bind the tomato paste. Let's just say. Can it be batil b'shishim? Why don't you say the same thing? If the wheat is
1 in 1,000 Pesach.
1 in 1,000,
Not the naturals are doing on purpose. Doesn't mean you knowingly.
that's another point. But
But they would have to disclose it, so it's really-
yeah, but let's say it's on the list. Let's say on the list is flour, but it's like the 17th ingredient. And you go to the Heinz factory and they say, yeah, this is the, 1 in 64 parts is wheat. So is it batil b'shishim?
Yeah. Doesn't mean you knowingly on purpose to make it that thing.
Adam, what are you saying?
So it's a shuk cup.
Nothing. Hot, it's right.
Yeah, it's okay. Before Pesach, it's 3 bucks.
Here's one more question for you guys. It's on Pesach, and somebody makes you a meal, and it says, eat. By the way, there's little real breadcrumbs in the meat. But don't worry, I put 1 in 1,000, like Ezra said.
No.
It's 1 out of 1,000. What?
That's what's up.
Okay, so here's the halakha in very short, and we'll go deep into in another week. The halakha is like this. Once Pesach already started, and it wasn't mixed 1 in 60, it's too late to dilute it 1 in 60. Once the holiday started, any hametz that's 1 in 60 is dissolved. Any hametz that's not 1 in 60 cannot be dissolved on Pesach. But hametz is not batil b'shishim on Pesach. You could put a whole pot of soup on top of a wheat. On Pesach, you can't drink it. There is no batil b'shishim on Pesach. But there is ta'arobet hametz before Pesach, which is why they tell you to buy your milk before the holiday. People think it's a halakha with milk only. It's not milk. I try my best with my family to buy everything before the holiday. Everything before the holiday. I try no shopping on the holiday. I try. The kids need snacks or whatever, but I really try. Why? Because before the holiday, the rule of batil b'shishim is in effect. 1 in 60. And so this is why some of the lists, they'll say Heinz ketchup is allowed. And some lists will say Heinz ketchup is not allowed. Why? Because the guy who's saying Heinz ketchup is allowed, he's saying buy it before the holiday. The other guy is saying, if I tell you it's allowed, you're going to buy it on the holiday.
So what's the problem with Rabbi Cohen?
Rabbi Bad. Rabbi Cohen? Oh, Rabbi Gabriel Cohen? Yeah. It's the same thing.
So what's the problem? Okay.
These lists, the very lenient lists, again, I'm only speaking for myself. My personal opinion is they should have big red letters in capital, font 72. Do not use this list once Pesach starts.
Or he does.
Okay. Now, do I use it? No. Because I live in 2024 in America. Everything's at my fingertips. Cambridge Farms is bigger than Target. I can have it just for a few more dollars. I could buy everything mehadinim and mehadinim. If I lived in real Halab in Aleppo now with the ISIS over there, okay, I would go to the shuk and I would buy something. Yeah, I would be lenient. Now in America, 2024, why do I have to be lenient? If you said my kid is allergic to peanuts, and then you have this peanut-free brand in Whole Foods, it's spick and span clean. You know it because it's double the price, triple the price. Buy it. No, I'm gonna go read ingredients. No, this one looks like it has no peanuts. It's a speck of peanuts. What are you doing?
The point is that
so my spiritual health is just important as my physical health.
But the problem is they take the same stuff and they put a sticker over it and they gouge.
Not always.
A lot of the times.
Not always. And does this answer your question? So if you buy things before the holiday, if it's less than 160 parts hametz, it's batil b'shishim. Yeah. That's another whole she'ela. If it was already made before the holiday, it's probably good also. But it's you don't know. You really don't know when they made it. If you want to go buy on Pesach, maybe it was made yesterday. So it's a very dangerous game you're playing. And hametz is a very dangerous game. We don't want to play this game. Okay? All right, so that's that. Pots? What about them? Okay. All right, so here's the 1 minute answer for this. Okay, Rabotai, Liron, you heard the question? He wants to know about pots. The way you kosher something is the way you used it. Finished. Come on. That's it. That's the rule. The way you used it is the way you koshered it. If you use the pot with water on top of a fire, it has to be kosher in a pot with water on top of a fire. If you use the pot in the oven, a pan in the oven, mostly dry food, you have to put it in the oven and hot, make it really hot. If you want to take the pan that was made with dry food and say, no, I'm going to dip it in the water, that's not how you used it with water. So you can't use water because it has to be kosher the way you used it. If you use it with... So pans are a big she'ela. Pans are the biggest question in the whole game is frying pans. Oil frying pans.
General tip, the pans like have Teflon on it, the whole.
Yeah, the plastic, it's get complicated. So therefore, I'm going to make it very simple. This is not a whole, this is very simple. A pot that was used on the stove for sauce, for kiftex, I don't know, I'm going to name all Syrian foods, nobody knows, for mahshi or whatever, everybody knows it. You use it for pasta, use it for water, liquid, chicken, whatever. You get a big pot, you boil it, you put the pot inside of it. The way it was used is the way it's kosher. Forks and knives and spoons, you don't put that on the fire. Forks and knives, when does it touch? When does your fork touch your hot food? Not when it's on the fire. Already when it's a kli sheni, when it's poured, when it's taken from the fire, from the kli rishon, and put on a second plate, then you use your fork to eat it. So the same way you used it second kli sheni, you can clean it on a kli sheni. So you take the pot, you pour it on just on the fork. The same way you poured the food, you pour the water.
Your barbecue can just make a big fire.
Your barbecue has to be burnt. You have to burn it, libun. You have to burn it till it gets red hot. You have to burn it. All right. So barbecue skewers have to be torched. Pans. And my father is
The whole inside of the grill, it's got to be super clean.
it's clean for sure. Everything has to be. My father was a caterer for years. They used to take a blowtorch, torch all the pans. Okay, that's the general idea. And if something didn't come into hot food, in contact with hot food, just clean it with a sponge. It doesn't have to be boiled. If it never touched hot food,
Again, it's got to be the material. It could be like glass or steel or metal. That's what plastic.
if it never came in contact with the hot food, it can't absorb anything. It only absorbs from hot.
China is okay?
China, no. China, if it was only used for orange juice,
Yeah.
it's cold. It only absorbs hot.
Really?
What do you mean, really? Only hot, huh? Silicone, it's the plastic, no? Rubber? What is it?
Yeah.
Not really.
I don't know. Okay, you ready? So we did the halachot of Nisan. We did some halachot unplanned for Pesach, and we got to do some agadah from the Gemara. Okay, so now, we were talking last week. We're doing some of the agadah from Megillah.
Where are you?
We're now on page Vav. Page Vav Amud Aleph. Last week we were talking about the different cities in Israel. And the last city we talked about was Caesarea. Remember Caesarea? So the Gemara is, let's see. The last thing we said was the stadiums and the big houses of gathering and sport are going to be used for Torah learning when Mashiach comes. And now we are on Amar B'Yitzhak V'Ikaron Te'aked, which is, I would say, 15 lines from the bottom or so. Any luck finding it? Second to last line. The last word in the line is Te'aked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines from the bottom. V'Ikaron Te'aked. V'Ikaron Te'aked Zo Kesari Bat Edom. Kesari Bat Edom. How do we say it in English? Caesarea? Caesarea, which is the Roman village. Which one?
For the word Caesar.
Caesar, yeah. Is going to be uprooted and destroyed. Shehi hayta metropolitan shel melachim. It was a metropolitan of melachim, a big city full of kings. Ika de Amri. Other people, some people say. Wait, I skipped. The Mrabi ba Malcheh, because that city. Oh, and someone else had that. Yeah, every time. Some people say it's the city where they raise kings. This is where they bring the rulers of Rome. Okay, ready? Shaarey Yerushalayim. 10 lines from the bottom. Shaarey Yerushalayim. Who said last time? Yossi said last week. Caesarea is a city inside Israel that was never under Jewish power. Is that right? That's what Yossi said last week.
All the rulings are there to show you that it's all Roman.
So here's what he says. Shaarey Yerushalayim. אם יאמר לך אדם שחרבו שתיהן, אל תאמין לו. If someone said, oh, did you hear? Shaarey and Yerushalayim are both destroyed. Don't believe him. Impossible, both destroyed. Yashevu shetehen. Oh, they're both doing well. They're both thriving. Al ta'amin lo. Don't believe him. Harba Shaarey v'yashava Yerushalayim. You heard Caesarea is destroyed, but Yerushalayim is thriving. Or Harba Yerushalayim v'yashava Shaarey, or the opposite. Yerushalayim, no, was destroyed, and Caesarea is thriving. Ta'amin lo. Believe him. It could be. Shnei as it says, Im male'a ha'hareba. Im mele'a zo hareba zo. Im mele'a zo hareba zo. We cannot both be on top when it comes to Edom, when it comes to Rome. Either they're on top or we're on top. Not both of us up, not both of us down. Abrahman about Ishaq Amar me'acha ul'om mil'om yemas. We know this one, yeah? This is from who? Guys, where is this from? Ul'om mil'om is from. No, not Birkat Yitzhak. What about Yaakov? Who said this? Who said this? No. Who said this? Mordechai. Who said Ul'om mil'om yemas? Who said this? Ul'om mil'om yemas. No. You're talking. No. Ul'om mil'om yemas is Rivka going to Vatelech ledroshet Hashem, which could be Shem or Hashem. One of those two that she says, yeah? When the two babies were struggling in Esav and Yaakov in the belly, she says, one's going to be up, one's going to be down. There you go, you have credit. The Amar Rabbi Yitzhak says, My dichtiv, Yuhan Rasha Balamet Tzedek. This is Yeshaya. Yuhan Rasha Balamet Tzedek. You should favor a Rasha who has never learned goodness. What is this pasuk talking about? Favor. Why should we favor a Rasha? This was the words of Yitzhak Avinu. Amar Yitzhak lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitzhak prayed to Hashem for Esav, his son, who he loved. Ribono shel olam, Yuhan Esav. Please, I want Esav to be the one. Why do you hate him so much? Amar lo Rashahu. Hashem says, your son is a Rasha. Amar lo bala matzedek. What? There's nothing good about him? You can't find one thing good? Amar lo, Hashem told him, be'eres nechochot ya'avil, he's going to destroy Yerushalayim, your son. The Romans are going to destroy Yerushalayim. Amar lo, Yitzhak says, oh, he's going to destroy Yerushalayim? In Ken? Bayit egu with Hashem. Forget it. Let him never see the haughtiness, the high places of Hashem.
Surge.
Surge? That's a good word. Surge. The Amar Yitzhak, my dichtiv, al titen Hashem ma'avaye Rasha. Hashem, don't give what the Rasha wants. Zimamu al tafek yanumu sela, and don't take away his nose ring, Rashi says. Amar Yaakov, Ribono shel olam, Yaakov is praying about his brother Esav. Al titen le'esav Rasha ta'avad libo, please don't give Esav, my brother, what he wants. Zimamu al tafek. Don't undo his nose chain, like he's chained from his nose. Don't undo it, Hashem. Zo, listen to this, guys. What is this? Who is this?
The German.
Unbelievable. This is written way before Hitler. Zo, don't let Esav do what he wants. Don't let him do what he wants. Why? Zo, Germania shel Edom. Sure sounds like Germany. This is Gramamya of the Rome of Edom. If they come out to do battle, they could destroy the whole world. Don't let it happen.
World War.
Now, if you don't believe that the Talmud is in prophecy, what else is it talking about? What's Gramaya? The Abed says this is Germany, Ashkenaz. That's what the Abed says.
Yep.
It's prophesizing about Germany. Unbelievable. Any other meaning? Is there any other meaning to this? Gramaya. Gramaya, them too. Ve'amar b'Hama bar Hanina. Tilat me'a malche ketire taga. There are 300 kings with crowns. Ika be'Germamaya shel Edom. In this place, Germamaya of Edom. Utlat me'a v'shitin v'chamisha marzabne. And there are 365 high officers. Ika beromi in Rome. So we have Germamaya and Rome. They're going to battle each other. Every day, one of the kings of Rome goes out and does battle with one of the kings of Gramaya. Every day, one of them gets killed, and the other one wins, and then whatever one was killed, they try to replace him with a new king. Gramaya is Germany. Yeah, unbelievable, huh? So the Mefashim say, I think it was the Mahashah that says this cannot be literal. We don't know of any place where every single day there's a one-on-one battle. And so it must be in Shamayim. Hashem made a miracle for us that they're so busy. So there's two pshatim I read. Pshat number one is they're so busy fighting with themselves, they don't focus on us, thank God. Let them at World War I, World War II, let them fight with themselves. Well, World War II we were obviously, we paid it. But they're so busy, they're so busy fighting themselves. The second pshat in Harshah is in Shamayim. They're having battles, one-on-one battles every day. The Malach of Romi and the Malach of Gramaya. And then I think I read eventually Gramaya became part of Rome. The Romans took it. So I think I read that now they're all one.
I don't know, but you know that Mussolini is partnered with Shimon.
Yeah, Italy and yeah. Okay, now this I think is probably the most famous piece of Gemara in the whole Shas. I think. Ve'amar Rabbi Yitzhak says, "Im yomar lecha adam yagati v'lo masati al ta'amen." If a person says, I tried so hard to study Torah. I went to yeshiva, I went to the class, I tried very hard, and I cannot succeed. It's just not for me. Al ta'amin. Do not believe him. It's impossible that you can try to learn Gemara, learn Torah, and not succeed. Lo yagati umatzati. The guy says, I didn't have to try. It comes to me like this. I don't have to try, and I understand everything. Al ta'amin. Don't believe him. Yagati umatzati. I try really hard, and I get it. I understand it. Ta'amin lo. Believe him. Now, the Mefarshim say, it's very interesting. Matzati is lashon mitzi'ah. I found it. There could have been other ways to say this. Yagati v'itzlahti would be a good way. I tried and I had success. Why would you say Yagati? I tried so hard and I found it. So the answer is, really, it's all a gift from Hashem. When you're going through a hard piece of Torah, it's a gift from Hashem. He puts in your head the chidush. You put in the hishtadlut, just like business. You put in the hishtadlut and you work and you work and you work, and you earn commission. You didn't earn the commission. Now Hashem gave you a present, commission present. It has nothing to do with all your effort. Nothing we're doing is actually earning for ourselves the rewards. And we have to believe, in business, we have to believe this. We have to believe this. Nothing you're doing is earning you $1. You're a puppet. Hashem says, I want you to go up and down like this, like a puppet, and then at the end of the day, he'll pay you. Some people he pays more to, some people he pays less to. It has nothing to do with you and me. The same thing with Torah learning. You have to go in there and try. If you try, Hashem's going to give you a mitzvah. You're going to find it. Even if you don't have brains, he'll give you a mitzvah. It'll come to you. Now, Hani mile, all this only applies with Divrei Torah when it comes to learning. Abba b'masah u'matan, when it comes to business, success in business, siyatahu min shemaya. It's only Hashem's mazal that He's giving you. It has nothing to do with your effort. So some person comes to business and says, Yagati u'matzati. Please, Yagata u'matzata. You found nothing. Hashem gave you business. A person says, Lo Yagati u'matzati. You could say, yeah, I believe you. Yeah, you're an idiot. You happen to invest in a business and you made money. A lot of idiots make money.
How can you say nothing that you do? Then in that case, nobody would do anything.
So the rule
So
is,
in other words, I think the concept is you're doing a lot to do with it as being the tool that activates the bracha of Hashem, the decision. But you have to be participating.
let me tell you this. Have you ever heard the story about the guy that was in jail in what's the really cold place they used to send people?
Siberia.
In Siberia. He was in jail for 15 years there, and they had him turning a mill. You ever hear this story? He was turning a mill every day. He's turning the mill. He said, slave labor. They're making me grind whatever on the other side of this wall. They're making me grind the tahine, something I have to do. Oh, it's not fair. Oh, it's not fair. I can't wait till I get out of here. But he was strong. And he said, it's okay. I'm going to get out of here. And then they finally let him out after 15 years. And he says, finally, I'm free. Can I go to the other side of the wall and see what I've been doing all my life?
No.
And it's a rope tied to nothing. And he died on the spot. This is what we're doing. The master of the universe put us all in jail. It's called the curse of Adam Arishon. We have to work. We have to work. We shouldn't. Who wants to work? You shouldn't want. If you want to work, something's wrong with you. We have to work. It's a kilala. It's a curse. Something's wrong with you if you want to work. I'm sorry. Unless you work in a yeshiva or something. It's the curse of Adam Arishon. We should want what we want to do. I want to get out of work so I can go study Torah and raise my family and teach my kids. And that's what I want to do. I want to go to Beit Knesset. I have to work. The master of the universe said, spin the wheel, and I will give you your food. There's nothing attached to the wheel. There's nothing attached to your wheel. You think that you're spinning the wheel and you're doing nothing. And so therefore, when you stay up in the office until 11 o'clock at night,
But still, if you don't spin the wheel, nothing will happen.
if you don't spin the wheel, you get no food.
Exactly.
You have to spin this empty wheel. Yeah.
And to expand
And then
on
I'll
the
give you the-
analogy, to expand on the analogy, we all spin the different wheels in different
All different. Each career has a different wheel.
But so the concept is really our ishtadlut, the spinning of the wheel. Although at the end, on the other side, it's an empty road.
Yeah,
Still, without our effort,
you don't get
nothing will happen.
100%.
So the source is
Hashem is saying to you, pick a
but
career.
the effort is done.
Yeah, pick a career and put in the normal hishtadlut of this career. Don't put in more hishtadlut or less hishtadlut than the career you're in. Whatever, if you're a night nurse, you have to work at night.
If you put over, then you don't throw.
If you put over, you're spinning an empty wheel for nothing.
Oh, no, that,
You're not going to get one more dollar.
I think the biggest problem is when you do over, is you starting to believe it's kochi and also miyadi, and that's the biggest problem.
That's also a problem. But the second problem is you're literally not making any more money. You can't make any more money. He told you, where are you getting Rosh Hashanah? You can spin that wheel all you want. There's nothing else coming down for you. You're spinning your wheels. That's what you're doing. And so therefore, when it comes to business, it's only siyatam and shemaya. It's only from Hashem. So a person can try or not try. Now, even when it comes to Torah learning, even when it comes to learning Torah, we're only talking about one thing. When we say you have to try, and if you try, you'll for sure succeed. We're only talking ela lehadudeh. Lehadudeh means to understand what you're learning. One time. Right now, I don't understand the Gemara. Keep going. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. You're going to get it. It's a guarantee. But to remember long-term memory is a gift from Hashem. You will understand it every time you put the effort. You want to remember long-term and retrieve anytime? This is a gift from God. You have to pray for this. You have to pray to Hashem. please help me to remember what I learned. And we should want to do this because it says in the Torah, do not forget. Moshe Rabbeinu says in Devarim a million times, Lo tishkach, do not forget the Torah. So I pray many times, Hashem, please let me remember the Torah that I've learned. It has nothing to do with my brains. It's only from you. So this is probably the most famous gemara in Shas. That's what I think. And so if you try, and so anytime someone tells me, I say, come to the shiur, it's not for me. I say, you're wrong. You're making a big mistake, by the way. It is for you. You just have to try. The hadudeh, you're right. You may not remember it once you leave the class. But in the class, you're going to get it if you try. Next one. Ready for the next gemara? V'amar v'yitzhak. Im ra'ita rasha she'asha'a misaheket lo. You have a person, he's a rasha, he's no good, and he's bothering you. But he's on a streak, he's on a lucky streak. Everything he's doing is touching to gold. Should you start up with him? Im ra'ita rasha she'asha'a misaheket lo. The rasha is lucky. Everything's working for him right now. Sha'a misaheket. How do you say this literally? The moment is laughing with him. He's just on a good streak. Don't start up with him. Don't mess with him because he is in mazal. Yesh mazal Yisrael, Rabotai. Everyone says there's no mazal Yisrael. There is mazal Yisrael. We can go above the mazal, Gemara Shabbat says. But we have mazal. You can beat the mazal, but we have it. Okay? So the Shasha has mazal. Don't mess. Don't mess with the guy who's doing good. You're going to lose. As it says in the Pasuk Shneimar, Al tithar b'mera'im. Don't fight with the Rasha. Not only that, Ela she'derachav matzlihin. He's going to beat you. You're not going to win. Shneimar, Yahilu derachav b'chol et. Whenever he wants, he's going to have atzlaha. Not only that, Ela zoche badin. Even above in Shamayim, he's going to beat you. If he's lucky, a guy is lucky, go away from him. Stay away. Don't mess. Don't start up with the neighbor when the neighbor's rolling. Leave him alone. Not only that, he's going to see his enemies go down. So don't be his enemy. So this Gemara says, be very careful when you mess with the guy that's on a roll. But the Gemara says, any? Is this true? What? The Gemara says, any? Is this true? Didn't you say, go ahead and fight with a Sha'im. If he's a Rasha and you're a Tzaddik, take him out. Doesn't have anything with he's lucky or not lucky. The Torah, go ahead, fight with the Sha'im. Mishleh. And we say, Rabbi Dostai bar Matun Amar, you're allowed to fight with Rasha in this world. Don't be scared. I love this phrase. If a guy whispers to you, saying, no, don't start up with him. I love the whisper. The guy is so scared, he's whispering to you, hey, don't mess with him. You crazy? Don't mess with this guy. He's on a roll. No. He's a scaredy cat. He's scared. Really, you could fight with him. So the question is, we just said you can't fight with him, and now we say you could. No kasha, that's fair. Ella, the answer is, what should you answer this guy? The guy that whispered you and says, doesn't say in the Pasuk, don't fight with the Rasha. So what do you answer him? You should answer him, you're reading the Pasuk wrong. Don't be like a Rasha. Don't be like him. It doesn't say don't fight with him. Don't be like him. Means don't be jealous to be like him. You're reading the Pasuk wrong. I can fight with the Rasha. And so therefore, first we say don't mess with the guy that's on a roll. And now we say go ahead, mess with the guy that's on a roll. And the answer is Lokashia. You have a Rasha who's on a roll. You can mess with him when it comes to spirituality, Judaism. Don't start with him in business. Don't start with him in Gashmiyut. You will lose in Gashmiyut. You could win him only in the shul. The second you leave the shul, you want to start, don't mess with him. in his business. Second answer,
You know, like Biden said, I will take him behind the jeep.
yeah,
Tell the guy, come on, I want to see him. I see him.
yeah, meet me in the shul. In the shul, when it comes to spirituality, you'll beat him.
That's where you're gonna get it.
You're not going to beat him in business. Second answer. No, really, you still lose to him. You'll still lose to him when it comes to business, and you'll still win him if it's business. Lo kashya. Ha b'sadik gamud, ha b'sadik she'eno gamud. It depends what kind of tzaddik you are. If you're a tzaddik gamud, take him out. If you're not a tzaddik gamud, be very careful. And who's the tzaddik gamud? Who's the tzaddik gamud? So if you're not a tzaddik gamud, zip the lip. Don't start with him. Leave him alone. Okay.
It almost also seems like if you're intimidated,
If you're intimidated, you're not a tzaddik gamud.
right?
That's basically it. Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to stop here and move to one more gemara before you have to go, and give you a little Pesach.
It's a big move, really talking about a big move. Just like when Nesser went to Kama, and they had to be on a certain level of Shomei mitzvot.
Itai, hold on. Yeah, tzaddik gamud. There's different. I'll give you one quick shot. Tzaddik gamud. I think the Arizal says is a tzaddik that was a tzaddik in all the Gilgulim. All the Gilgulim, you're a tzaddik. Otherwise, you're. The answer is you're not. You're not. So the bottom line is, for any normal person, don't start up with someone who's on a lucky streak. Leave him alone. Huh? In the streets, even here, according to the second shot.
The shul.
Even according to the second shot, even in the shul, if you're not a tzaddik gamud, you're going to lose. Leave him alone. Someone's on a roll, leave him alone. Okay, let's do one more piece, which has to do with Pesach.
Does that mean if somebody's not being lucky, you should pick one?
Take him out. No, you don't pick at anyone. It means someone, you're not just picking at someone. Someone's doing the wrong thing. It's very original. So you have a good claim. You probably have a good ta'ana. You know, the guy did something wrong. You want to go put him in his place. If he's on a lucky streak, don't put him in his place.
That's the Las Vegas strategy. Sit next to a loser and bet against him.
Yeah, very good. Okay, you ready? Daf Dalet. This is the last piece for today. Daf Dalet Amud Aleph. Yeah. We're going backwards, forwards, all over the place. Daf Dalet Amud Aleph. One last idea for you guys to give you a little flavor of Pesach. It's Ve'amar of Yehoshua ben Levi, smack in the middle of the page. Ve'amar of Yehoshua ben Levi. It's actually 2/3 of the way up. Nashim hayabot b'mikra megillah. Nashim hayabot. You don't really need the gemara for this. It's just one line. It's a Tosafot I want to do. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi says, page 4. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
One time to him Megillah?
Nashim twice.
Twice?
Yeah. Nashim hayavot. Next year you could always do it.
No, but sorry, the real question, like he gave you a video. That counts? No. Physically to
No. Physically here. Okay. Nashim hayavot b'mikra Megillah. Women have to hear the Megillah. Why? Women don't have to do any mitzvah. I said, Shazman gerama. She'af hen hayu be'oto hanes. What is the reason? We did this one year.
Then we asked about Pesach.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to do this again and give you one little new idea and review the last idea. I hope you remember the other stuff. Okay, it'll come. So ready? I have one addition to it. Nashim, everybody knows, women do not, bless you, women do not have to do mitzvot that are positive mitzvot, time bound. For example, tefillin. Women does not, but why? Because it's time bound, and it's a mitzvah aseh. It's only during the day. Okay. However, women have to do Megillat Esther. Why? It's a time bound mitzvah, and it's positive only on Purim, because they are part of the miracle. Since they were part of the miracle, they have to be thankful and say thank you when they got out. That's what the Peshat says. Let's see Tosafot. She'af hen hayu be'oto, not the one that says Nashim, the next one. She'af hen hayu on the left side. She'af hen hayu be'oto. Ready? Piresh Rashbam says, She'ikar hanes haya al yadan bepurim al yedei Esther, bechanuka al yedei Yehudit, בפסח שבזכות סוכניות שאותו הדור נגאלו. Rashbam says, what does it mean they were part of the miracle? They were critical players in the miracle. Not that they just happened to be part of the decree. We needed them to be for our salvation. For example, the 3 things women have to do. Women have to hear Megillah. Women have to light candles on Hanukkah. It's the same thing. They shouldn't have to. It's a positive mitzvah, time bound. No, they have to. Why? And the last thing is drinking the wine on Pesach night. The 4 cups of wine on Pesach night, the women have to do it also. Why? There are 3 mitzvot that women have to do for the same reason. So Rashbam says it's because they were critical. Esther,
So, to the left.
yeah, to the left, there's a song like that, yeah? Esther was critical for the Megillah story, for Purim story. Yehudit was critical for the Hanukkah story. She was a sister of the Maccabim. And all the women in Egypt were critical for the Egyptian story. So since they were so important, they have to participate in this mitzvah.
Question, why you say up?
That's one question. So 2 questions. So the first question, Bekasha. Dilashon she'af hen, af means even. Mashma shehen tefelot. Af means even they were in the decree. You just said no, they were the main players in the whole thing. So the women should have to hear Megillah more than the men have to, because Esther was a big thing. Oh, and Pesach, we never would have gotten off except for the women. So why would we say even? You don't say the word even for someone who's more important. That's the first question. What does it mean, even? Okay. So I told you the Hatam Sofer's answer, I think last year or 2 years ago. You remember this answer? So that when I say it, you're going to remember. You got the question? Women have to hear Megillah because Esther was a very important player. So they even have to. They for sure have to. They're the most important. So the Hatam Sofer said.
Even were part of the mess.
But they were the main players.
You said.
The way it's translated. Says the Hatam Sofer. You should remember this. The Hatam Sofer says, the greater you are, the less miracles are impressive to you. A great rabbi that lives with miracles all day long, what's another miracle? I expect miracles at this point. Someone like us, down below, I'll say like me, someone like me, a regular person, when I see a miracle, I say, wow, that's an unbelievable miracle. Someone who's always with miracles all day long, big deal, another miracle. I'm always with miracles, yeah? Women are always with the miracles. Every story we have, the women are a big player in the story. They're so used to miracles. They say, what's the big deal? What are you getting so excited about? Well, you got to read Megillat Esther because of Purim story? You didn't think Hashem would save us? Obviously, he'll make a miracle and save us. What? You guys drink wine for Pesach because we got out? Well, you thought we'd stay in there? Hashem always makes miracles, takes it out. Women, we're so pivotal in all these stories. We're so used to these things. We're not impressed by these miracles anymore, because we're on a higher level than you idiot men. Says the Hatam Sofer, Afhin, even you who are always so busy with all these miracles and you see Hashem bigger than us, even you come over here, come to shul with me. That's the Hatam Sofer. Yeah, beautiful Hatam Sofer. You got a lot of brownie points. Say this to your wives when you get home, you'll be in good terms.
That's my
Did you say it last year?
No.
This year. Isn't it beautiful?
Make sure we get bigger.
Even women, I know you guys don't care about all these miracles. Am Yisrael could be saved tomorrow, and the women would be, of course they would save. We're saying Tehillim all day long. What? Hashem wouldn't save us? Even you, come to the shul, say Hallel. That's
It could also be second class.
No. It's not in Judaism. It's first class. One more idea for you. So what is the second question? You see the second question to the end? He says, hold on a second. The Gemara in Pesachim says, do women have to eat matzah? Do women have to eat matzah on Pesach?
Yeah.
Isn't it a mitzvah ta'aseh she'adon gerama?
They shouldn't eat chametz.
They don't have to. We have to. First night. They said it. First night.
Do the women have to eat matzah on the first night of Pesach?
No.
So,
Yeah, they have to. But why? It's a mitzvah ta'aseh she'adon gerama. And the Gemara gives an answer in Pesachim. The Gemara says, no. Anyone that is in the Hametz, is also in the matzah. It's a hikesh. Shiv'at yamim tocha masot lo yireh b'cha seor. Anyone who is in the negative of hametz is also in the positive matzah. So sorry, women, you are in the hametz mitzvah. You're also in the matzah mitzvah. So Safot's question is, why do you have to do that for? Afhen hayu be'oto anes. Same thing as the wine. What's the difference? The wine and the matzah. For the wine, you said afhen hayu be'oto anes. No hikesh, no nothing. Just you're also part of the miracle. Drink up. Same thing for the matzah. Why don't you say these things for a lot of things? Why don't you say afhen hayu be'oto anes v'sukkot? There's a sin in the sukkah. The women have the sin in the sukkah. No. Afhen hayu be'oto anes. Apply this rule.
It looks like the 3 of 10 has an element of gratitude to Hashem. And the mitzvah is gratitude, advertising the miracle, remembering. The chametz, it seems like a tikkun. A tikkun, you had the thing in the chametz, now you have to do that.
Chametz, lulav, etrog, sukkah, all these things don't have to do. Only 3 things you found. Afhen hayu be'oto anes. No. Hanukkah, Megillah, and the wine. So there's a beautiful shot, and I forgot where I heard it from, and I feel so bad about that. Huh?
It's also like the matzah is also included now.
Matzah is from a hikesh.
So vacation.
Why don't we just use the same rule for matzah? Afhen. They're also part of the miracle.
Okay.
So the beautiful shot I heard, and I wish I can get credit. I'm trying to think today. Who did I hear this from? I don't remember. Is as follows. Hashem gives us the mitzvot. Hashem, the master of the universe, gave us the Torah with positive mitzvot. And he said, guys, when there's time-bound positive mitzvot, women, stay away. Don't get busy with it. It's not for you. Do better things. Go raise the kids. These are the rabbinic laws. Hanukkah, Megillah, and the wine is from the rabbis. When it comes to the rabbis, we can make the women do it. When it comes to the Torah, we cannot make the women do what Hashem. Why? Because number one, the boss said, do this thing. When the boss says, you do this and you don't do this, I'm not going to say anything. The boss said no. But we're coming in, we're saying, the rabbis are saying, there's something called wine. We want you to drink it. Hey, and you also, you drink it, ma'am. The rabbis can do it. The boss didn't say anything about this. The boss didn't give us the mitzvah Megillah. The rabbis gave us Megillah. So the rabbis say, we want everyone to do it. If the boss already came down from mitzvah from the Torah with matzah, and he said it's for the men, we can't make the women eat matzah unless we have something in the pasuk to make them eat the matzah. On a deeper, and on a deeper level, the reasons for mitzvot, give it to her. The reasons for the mitzvot are really much deeper than the reasons we think we see in the Torah. Any reason, you said the word ta'am. Ta'am is that. Why do we call it Mordechai? Why do we call it ta'am mitzvot and not sibat mitzvot? A ta'am is a taste. It's a little taste. There's much more to the meal. All we have is a small little taste. When we get a mitzvah with a reason, we think we know the reason. It's 0.0001% of the real taste of this mitzvah. And so we don't know what's going on. So don't mess with what the boss said. Hashem gave us a mitzvah, and for whatever reason he has in Shemaim, that's why it says, Lot served his angels matzot. Pesach didn't even happen yet. How could you have matzah before Pesach? The reasons for the mitzvot preceded the mitzvot themselves. When it comes to the mitzvot of Rabbanan, the mitzvot of the rabbis, it's very simple. We're on a much lower level. The rabbis gave us a mitzvah called drinking the wine. We want everyone to do it. The reason is because you were in the miracle. No secrets. Nothing past that. And since you were also in the miracle, do the mitzvah. And so the short answer is, mitzvot that are from the Torah, we can't use our own logic to force women to do it as well. Mitzvot that are from the rabbis, we do use our own logic. And that's why wine, the rabbis say, Afen hayu. And that's why matzah, the rabbi says, nope, we can't say Afen hayu because that's from the boss. We can't talk about the boss's mitzvot. That's something from mitzvah. So it's another thing you can say, if you want, if the ladies are ready for a deeper item on the Leil Seder, why do you have to eat matzah and wine? But for very different reasons. One's rabbinic and one is from the Torah. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen, Amen. Amen.